Can you pay for child support from a trust where the child is the beneficiary? So my wife and I recently divorced. Years prior to our divorce, this is gonna get juicy. Oh my gosh, I already see it. Years prior to the divorce, we set up trust for each of our daughters. Good. I am a trustee and my daughters are beneficiaries of each of their trusts. The trust owns shares in a private company that may have a substantial liquidity event in the near future. Yes, make that money, and it's going to your children. I like that even better. Considering that the trusts are intended to support the expenses of my daughters, can I pay their child support, including their private school tuitions from these trusts? Okay. Wow, aren't you a clever person? Really want to take advantage of the fact that the trust you set up for your daughter has a lot of money in it. You now are divorced and you've got to pay child support, and you're wondering if you can pull from that money you left in trust to your daughters to pay your ex-spouse as a way of offering child support. It's like one big circle right there. Here's the deal. It's all about what kind of trust you set up. If you created an irrevocable trust that you pushed money out of your estate for tax purposes, so this is what I'm thinking you did, because if you tell me that the trust owns shares of a private company, maybe a startup out here in Silicon Valley, great. And it's about to have a substantial liquidity event. I like those words. Tell me how much next time. Please entertain us. But yeah, if it's gonna have a substantial liquidity event, you probably made an irrevocable trust, because otherwise why would you have moved that into the trust and not kept that in your pocket? You're trying to lower your tax liability. Well, here's the rub. If the trust is irrevocable, you cannot pull that money out as yourself to pay child support. That money belongs to the trust on behalf of your daughters. You are the trustee. Remember, you're the grantor and the trustee. You put the money in, you created the trust. That means you're the grantor. You're the one who created the trust. But you're also playing a second role, trustee. And even though they're your family, they're your daughters, you have control on how to give the money out for them, you have a fiduciary obligation under the law to manage that money on their behalf, not on your behalf. And it is you, not them, and not the trustee of them, who has to pay the child support. So the only way you can pull money out of this trust to use that to pay child support is if you, as a grantor, still have the right to revoke the trust. So if the trust is revocable, or you can change who the beneficiaries of the trust is. In that case, change the beneficiary from your daughters over to you. Have yourself as trustee pay out for whatever reason, and that money, as long as you're following the terms of the trust, right, once you pay it out to yourself in your pocket, you can then pay your child support with it. Okay, but I have a feeling, I don't know the details, and so I can't give you a yes or no answer. You gotta reach back out to me, and we gotta review that trust. I need to see if it's irrevocable. If it's irrevocable, which is what I think it is, because you probably set it up for tax reasons to help lower the tax liability of a liquidity event like what you're about to have, that means you can't just take the money out for yourself. So you have to understand what roles you're playing here. The child support is what you personally own to your ex-spouse. Child support is for the purpose of helping your ex-spouse who has custody over the children to pay for the cost of children. Because in California, we presume that both parents should be paying for the child's expenses. And that's why we have child support. What your ex-spouse uses that money for doesn't really matter. The law is not specific that she has to use it for ABC. As long as she's using it for the children's own needs, she can use it to renovate the home, add on a second bedroom if your two daughters are sharing the same bedroom. That's still child support by giving them both their space, both their bedrooms. It's something for them. So what she uses the money for, that's one thing. The trust might not allow you to do that. So it really comes down to the terms of your trust. What does it say when you set it up on how the money can be distributed? So when you pull money out of the trust, that's a distribution. It's for your children. So for their college tuition education, you probably can use the trust money to pay college tuition and education. Most likely you can, especially if it's a trust for them. But again, you need to read the terms of the trust that you created. To pull money out for child support means you're pulling money out, not handing it to your children, but handing it to yourself. So you are not the beneficiary of this trust. You can't do that. And if the trust is irrevocable, you can't pull the money out as the grantor. You can't yank it back saying, I revoke this trust, tear it up, let's start over again, right? So we need to review that trust and see what your options are. But long story short, I have a feeling that, no, you can't do it. And if you want me to dig deeper for you, I'm more than happy. But yeah, sneaky person. Good job. All right. Wow, that is it. I answered all the questions. If you guys have any other questions related to estate planning, asset protection, trust, irrevocable, not irrevocable, that kind of stuff, I'm more than happy to answer. My name's Yasha Saba. Just email us at info@skyunlimited.law, and we will get back to you with those answers. Take care, everybody.